All right, all right. Good morning, everyone. We are live. This is Syya Yasotornrat,
And Erin Gregor.
and we are the co-hosts of the Afterglow LinkedIn Live Recap Podcast. So I know we've been asked this many times, and we'll do it every time. What are we recapping? Well, Erin and I are the Dallas co-chairs of Global Leaders Organization. It is a business organization focused on entrepreneurial growth, access to capital, and building an awesome community with amazing content. So they have weekly speaker series that they put on, and we basically talk, and I don't want to say gossip, but we share our insights of what we think about these speakers the day after. So what we do is we're going to take those valuable concepts, we're going to take those action items, and we're going to talk about food for thought that that's going to resonate with us. And hopefully, as you learn about what's resonating with us, you might be interested to check them out. You can go to withglo.com, let's try this again, withglo.com. So on that note, what we do here on the Afterglow podcast is we bring in a esteemed GLO member. And this week, I'm so excited to welcome Mr. Chris Mathew with Valiant Digital. Welcome, Chris.
Good morning. How are you all?
It's Friday. Can I just tell you? That's all I can say.
About
it. So, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. You are a GLO member. Tell us, what is Valiant Digital and what do you do?
Yeah. So we are a full-service digital marketing agency here in Dallas. We started in October of 2017, and there are a lot of digital marketing agencies here in Dallas that do great work. Something that's different about us is we are exclusively digital. So we do nothing other than digital marketing. The thing that I'm really excited about, GLO speaks to this. This really fuels who I am as a person. Everything we do is data driven. So we use a ton of emotion in our ads and how we create kind of what I talk about a breadcrumb trail for people to follow. But everything we use is based on data. We make no assumptions. We do nothing but dive into data and then use that data accordingly to be able to create the narrative and ultimately the outcomes for our clients that we're looking for. So, or rather that they're looking for. We've got an incredible team here locally, and we're excited about what we do. It's incredible to help small businesses become medium businesses. It's really spectacular when we can work with medium businesses and help them cross that chasm to become big players. And so it's a really rewarding business for us and something that I'm thrilled to be a part of.
Oh.
And I'm thrilled to be a part of GLO in particular because I stumbled across this actually through Daniel Abroad and was wanting to learn about community. I mean, I'm a person that really believes in relationships. At the end of the day, I think relationships are what matter above all else. And being a part of a community is a really important thing. For entrepreneurs, we go attack the world. We have this burn the boats mentality, right? We're all in. And sometimes we forget that we could really use the help of other entrepreneurs that really understand the place that we're in, that maybe other folks may not see themselves. So that's what I appreciate about GLO more than anything, is being able to be connected to people that understand those challenges. And the speaker series has been incredible. I'm really excited about talking about Dr. Lombardo because she was incredible yesterday.
Yeah. Hey, perfect segue. That is like the perfect segue. So we did have Dr. Elizabeth Lombardo. Dr. E is what she preferred to be called, which I couldn't. I think my 12-year-old self couldn't stop laughing because as a product of the 90s, E meant something else. But anyway, so Dr. Elizabeth Lombardo, great speaker. It was a very Q&A oriented discussion, which I really valued because I felt like it was more personal to the GLO membership, the audience specifically looking for content that we were, information that we were specifically looking for, but it's somewhat universal, right? Because we're all entrepreneurs and business leaders in our own right. So on that note, Chris, of those discussion points that Dr. E brought up, what's one that top of mind that you just struck a chord with you?
Yeah. You know, I love Dr. E. I love even more so her moniker. She's the head coach of happiness. I mean, we would all love to be someone's head coach for happiness. What a great way to be referred to. What I really appreciated was something that she shared, talking about the new normal and how we all have to adjust to the regulations that are around us. Where I would take it a step further is the next normal is us accepting where we are right now and giving ourselves the grace to recognize that it's okay to go through this process, and find new pathways to move forward. The way that she kind of delivered that message really connected with me, because that's something that myself and our family, we're trying to figure out with going back to school and all these different things, that these decisions that we're faced with. How do we find our way forward? And I really appreciated the thing that I took away above everything else is asking ourselves the question, what can we do in this
Yeah.
moment right now? What can I do to be a positive force to move forward? And it's such a simple question to ask ourselves, but if we're honest with ourselves, it can be a really powerful question too.
That actually kind of made me like get the goosebumps when she first said, she's like, it's you're gonna experience these things. Life is a roller coaster, right? Up and down. But ultimately, what is it that you can do to respond to it? Erin, what did you think about that when she had mentioned it?
Well, it hit home a lot. Like, I mean, it was actually when the whole quarantine started and everything started going down. I had done a video about this specifically because I shared a story of when I was doing the Entrepreneur Summit and stuff was hitting the fan. And I've never been at such a low point in my life. I had a real estate deal going south. Plus I was dealing with all this stuff. And it's just like there's all this stuff happening, and you can either focus on the stuff you can't control, right? I mean, and just get swept up. And especially right now, like it's so easy. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen to the economy? What's going to happen to the business? What's going to happen to all these things? And you can spin in that negative, which does you nothing. Like it really, I mean, because it's all worry for something that you don't even know what's going to really happen. Or you can sit and focus in that same moment and say, all right, what can I control? Who can I call? What can I do in this moment to take me a step closer? And it could be just simple things like like I said, who can I call right now? Who can I email? What companies can I research and find out what they're up to? Like it's a complete mindset shift. But it's all about it's so black and white, yet, and I speak from experience, not judgment. It's so easy to spin in the negative, and it gets you nowhere. And she talked about the red zone, and it does you no good.
So you mentioned in your answer right there was two things that she had mentioned about coping strategies. One of which was problem focus and emotion focus. So let's talk about the coping strategies, because she made a comment that was like so hit close to home for me. Was okay, problem focus. When you are under duress, let's say she used the example of the elevator. You're stuck in an elevator. How do you respond to it? And when she said the problem focus coping strategy is to take an actionable item, change the situation with an action, right? The emotion focus is, from a coping strategy perspective, is changing the emotional reaction. And ultimately, she says, by doing a combination, one or both, is giving you a sense of control over the situation, and that takes you out of the red zone into the green zone. Okay, you guys, this doesn't sound like rocket science, but how many can actually confidently say, yeah, I got this down. I understood it. I do it every day.
Well, it's Tony
Not
Robbins.
me.
No, and I've known this for, like, Tony Robbins teaches the same thing, change your state, right? Like, and it'll seriously be like you could be in freaking out spinning, and he'll teach it as simple as like go back to this moment and just be in that moment where something good really happened, and by just changing your focus and remembering that moment, you can physically change your body into that state. And so I'll say the same thing, change your state. But I mean, I know what to do. Common sense doesn't make common practice, right?
Oh, I hate that saying. Woman, So I forgot to ask you guys this question before we started, and I think it'd be good to ask us. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at? 10 being the highest right now.
Erin, go ahead.
Like in my change state? Or
Just right now. Just on a scale of 10. Remember she said stress level. And I'm asking everyone else that's listening to us right now. Do me a favor and type in what you guys are at right now on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high stress. 1 is mellow, you've been meditated out.
I've been doing a lot of work lately, like reading, meditation. We were talking earlier before about, I would say, and really focusing on health these past 6-7 weeks. So I'd say like I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know if I've ever been at a 10, but I'll say I'm a 7.
Chris?
So you're still in the red zone. So I'm on the other side of that. I'm probably at a 2 right now. I'm in a really good.
Oh, I thought high number was good. No,
high is stress.
Oh, high is stress. Okay, I'll be at 3 then. Sorry. Go ahead, Chris. I'm at 3.
Cool. Good. All right. Well, then we're neighbors because I'm going to say I'm at a 2. Feeling in control of what I can control and releasing everything else. What about you, Syya?
I'm kind of feeling like I think I'm like such a stubborn person. I feel like I'm at a 2 or 3 because I go through life like, everything's a party kind of mentality. I probably have more stressors internally that I haven't recognized or accepted yet. And that's why I think this discussion struck me so much was the fact that I personally feel like I'm a 2 or 3 at times in life. But if you're like Erin knew this, when I was leaving corporate America, I was breaking out into hives, but I felt fine. So clearly there was something between my body and my mind I wasn't like connecting. So I don't know. I kind of feel like I need some soul searching.
Like, are you a stuffer where you, because I know I've had that problem before. It's like, just keep going. Like, it's fine. I'm fine. And then something would come up and I would be a mess because I hadn't dealt with it. Do you feel like you're a stuffer?
I'm a total stuffer. Absolutely. And that was another question. And by the way, I'm loving it. So Rashmi, she's saying she's not stressed and she gave herself a 5. Rashmi, 5 is not that good. You want to be lower than that. Was it 7 to 10? She said was getting into the red zone. So you're moderately stressed then, is that the assumption?
Okay. Open a bottle of JCB bubbles. That'll
bring you down to a 1.
Oh, thank God for Friday. Jonathan Anderson, angst is 10. But stress, he says he's at 4. So he differentiated it, you guys.
That's interesting.
Maybe I think he's catching what I was kind of saying is right. Like I don't feel very stressed, but I probably have some anxiety that I haven't addressed. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. I liked how you did that.
Hey, Erin, I want to comment that I'm absolutely a stuffer as well. 3 weeks ago, from when this thing started, every day I'd wake up and say, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Everything's fine. And then 3 weeks ago, I finally had the railroad smashing in on me where it was like, I'm not okay. As we're getting to know each other, you'll recognize I'm an extrovert, right? I recharge with people. And I love my family. They're my whole world. But we haven't been apart from each other in 3.5 months. And I started to finally realize I'm not addressing the emotional response. I'm only saying that the problem focus. Yeah. I'm fine. And in reality is I'm not. Like I need to recharge with other people. I've got to find that. And so I gave myself the grace to finally say, it's okay, even though like I'm the dad, I'm I'm supposed to be leading our family. It's okay for me not to be all right and to recognize and lean into that. And in truth, that's part of why I'm able to say I'm at a 2 right now, because 3 weeks ago, I gave myself that pass and I've been acknowledging it every day now and finding ways to deal with it because I gave myself the opportunity to say, I'm not okay.
Yeah. And Syya and I talked about this yesterday, to your point, Chris, of like stuffing and being that aware, which is amazing. But I feel like what quarantine did was, life before quarantine, and if or like most people, it was like you know, you really didn't have to deal with stuff, right? You just had something else to go do. And especially stuffers, it's like, nope, nope, we're not going to deal with that. We're just going to go take on something else. And I felt like what quarantine did was just had this, it was like this giant spotlight, like for your business, for your life, for your family. Like, all right, what are the things that kind of weren't working? What are the things you were just shoving off to the side because you didn't have to deal with them? And now all of a sudden it's just sitting there
festering.
Yeah, festering. So what do you have to do? And so I'm grateful for that. I know. I mean, we're not in a financial mess. We, you know, all of that stuff. Nobody got sick. So I mean, check. But the quarantine was definitely a blessing from that perspective.
Yeah. You know, interesting, that something that we're seeing at Valyent is so many people, to your exact response, like they were all over the place and now they're at home and they're really focused on their business and they're trying to say all the things that have been on the to-do list for the last years. Finally, there's no excuse, right? You have the time now, right? And so there's so many people that are recognizing this void, this thing that I've been completely ignoring, my social presence. It's time for us to take action. In particular, like we are all right now, everyone's home streaming the entire world. So if you're a business and you're not going social or digital, literally you're missing the eyeballs of the entire world right now because they're all connected to these devices at all times.
That's such a yes. That's both of our businesses, Innovation Media Enterprise and as Valyent Digital. We're all social media content based. You guys, thank you. Okay, sorry. That was our pitch for there. Okay, moving on to the next topic here, guys.
Chris for that setup right after the call. You guys know.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so one of the things that I'm going to surprise you guys with, and I wanted to for a reason, can you guys give me identify someone you admire and give me 3 things you admire about them?
I got this. I'm ready to rock.
Chris, you first.
For me, it's Simon Sinek, the author, Start With Why, Leaders Eat Last, just the infinite game. This guy has really changed how I approach my life, my family, my business, everything. And the 3 traits that, and I love that Dr. E put us through this exercise yesterday because it fueled me all day yesterday to think, wait, am I this? Right? But the 3 traits I admire about Simon Sinek: he's an optimist, he is a developer, and 3, he's a challenger of status quo. He wants to push people and help people reach their potentials. And when Dr. E gave us that exercise yesterday and I started going through those traits, absolutely, those are things that I hope my boys will one day say about their dad, right? That those are traits that I try to aspire to instill in myself and our family. I thought it was a fantastic exercise.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Erin?
Yeah. Okay. So this is an interesting question on that one. Because I could give you mine but the 3 traits, I don't know if I have them. Like, and that's where I wish she wouldn't have told that part, because now I look back, I'm like, well, I don't think I have those things. Maybe I would like to have them, but I don't have them.
Say it, because maybe we can give you the feedback.
Yeah.
So, I mean, somebody like off the bat, like who I really admire. I mean, there's a couple, but like, and this is, I don't even want to say this because it's so cliche, but like, I love Oprah, right? I love her perseverance. I love her, I guess, empathy, for lack of a better term. And that's the thing that I do, but I don't like, I don't know. It's just an interesting piece. And then, I mean, just her ability to connect with her intuition. I really admire that because, again, I'm not, well, I am, but I'm not. So but the last 2, I guess you could say I persevere, but again, I don't know if I would say I'm a perseverer, if that's a word. But the last 2, like, I don't know. I wouldn't call, I don't think somebody would put those 2 things behind my name. So I didn't like that exercise so much.
Erin, maybe it's not necessarily those traits are where you are today, but those are maybe traits that you are trying to reach. you're aspiring.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, and I think that's why we have those types of people we admire, because I think it's like they say, when you look for a mentor, look for a mentor up, right? Someone that's going to take you to the next level, not someone that's necessarily a peer where you guys are both at the same stage in your career, life experience, etc. So I do think Oprah is a perfect person for you to admire, because you do exhibit a lot of those traits that I don't think you realize. Maybe it's not in your comfort zone of where you personally want to be at, but you do demonstrate it outwardly from a professional and personal perspective.
So who are your three, Syya? Or who's your person with your three traits?
So for me, actually, I went personal on that one. And I went with my oldest sister, who has passed away. And I think when you're kind of experiencing, not kind of, when you are, because we are inevitably going to experience it, when you're experiencing that life ending conversation with yourself and with your family and friends, who you are really kind of comes out. And she has, throughout her entire life, these three traits have always been a commonality in her. So it wasn't like something where she had like a big light bulb moment towards the end of her life. She's always exhibited it, but it was almost amplified when she knew it was coming to an end, if that makes sense. So that's kind of like backstory. But for me, it was her resilience. I mean, when unfortunately she passed of cancer, she had a lot of up and downs, but she persevered every single time to just get back up again and fight the good fight, if you will. Strength, how she found the internal strength to decide to fight, to decide that, as the physical discomfort, the emotional discomfort, the stressors and all that stuff, she found the strength to find her center to keep moving forward and be focused on task at hand. And the last part of it is her giving nature. Even despite all her sickness, she literally would welcome anybody and everybody into the home. And as you would think, when you're sick, people are going to come visit you, right? Well, she would stock up with that individual's favorite foods, if you will. So she was like the consummate host, giving herself to them of what she could at that time, and making them always feel welcome and great, giving that gratitude that they made the effort to be there for her. So those three things really struck with me. And throughout her entire life, she got a degree in physics in 1984, one of 4 women at, Cal Poly in Pomona. Like, she's just always fought that good fight and just persevered all her life. And, she was a successful engineer and a successful mother. So that's why I picked my sister. And I aspire to those qualities.
She sounds amazing.
Oh, she was a bad ASS, people, let me tell you. Okay, I don't want to bring us down too much. I do want to say, Brian Little, thank you for throwing out yours. Daniel Hurd, who I have not personally heard of before. Get it? Hurd? Okay, don't.
Yeah.
But he says he's literally riding a bicycle across America by himself. He's raising suicide awareness by doing this. So every mile ridden honors someone who took their life. And he utilized the quarantine to really build his nonprofit one pedal at a time. That's like taking advantage, pivoting, and a great cause beyond himself. I like that. Brian, I don't know you well enough, but I could see how that, of what I know of you, that's pretty impressive. He's a fellow podcaster, by the way.
Something that I think is really cool there is Brian is demonstrating something that Dr. E talked about, post-traumatic growth, which that's the first time I've ever heard that term. But finding a way through the stress of all this, I think you mentioned that quarantine propelled him, no pun intended, forward in this process that he's riding across the country. We have these post-traumatic stressors in our life. How we react to that and how we can grow from that. It's the first time I've ever actually thought through that process yesterday, but it was really invigorating to think about. We're halfway through our Hollywood story, right? Our inspirational story. When something bad happens, you're at the halfway point, because now you got nowhere to go but forward.
Yeah. Woo. I mean, I guess that's what life is for, right? To be lived and to experience the ups and downs, right? Okay, so there's last thoughts here. So we were supposed to go through our three, and obviously, Erin, I think 30 minutes is way too short. But Erin, was there one highlight that you thought that just struck you with our talk yesterday?
No, there wasn't one thing. No.
I know there's tons.
But I'll tell you, I know Rashmi's on, and Rashmi had a great question just about, how to be a example for our kids. And I have a 7 and 8-year-old, and it was cool. Yesterday we had an opportunity. We were driving, and my daughter was like, I just wish this quarantine would be over. And I said, well, okay, sure, it'd be nice, but how is it really affecting your life? Like, how is it right now? Is it if we're stressing about how's it affecting it, just like, well, I want to be able to go to Costco without a mask. I'm like, yeah, but like you go to Costco with me like once every few months. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. And she's like, well, I want to be able to go to Hawaii. I'm like, yeah, but we did have a trip to Hawaii planned over the summer. So again, not affecting us. So I'm like, so what is it doing to us? Like, it's really, that's it. That's it. You get to see your friends. You get to see, you got to go to Wisconsin. You get to do all this stuff. So it's okay. Like, we can't focus on the I wishes or the sucks or whatever. So anyway, I get my Mom of the Year award yesterday because I did something good. But it was just from Rashmi's question of, really working to be that example.
But I like that because I can see let's say when the kids do get emotional, not that they ever do, of course, right?
No,
but if they
it
were do,
Yeah.
but I think that recognition, I know, Chris, you have children as well, is that recognition of I see my child going from green to this puce, whatever color, and then beat bright red, right? Do you think that's going to affect the way you parent them now in the future of saying, I recognize they're going from one zone to another?
Yeah, for me, I think something we do a lot in our house is we turn on music and we dance. But now knowing that that's a good way to be able to, when our boys are, as boys do, can come at each other, let's crank up the tunes and let's, de-stress. Let's move down to the green zone. I never knew that was actual coping mechanism, right? It was just something fun to do. But now I think it's something that we'll really be more intentional about all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're wrapping up on time. Unfortunately, there was one other bullet point that if I can share, or maybe, if you guys, for those that are listening and interested, if you join GLO, we could talk about it in the Dallas chapter. LinkedIn, there is a group page there to learn what that last bullet point is. I'll throw a teaser out there. So, Chris, Mathew, with Valyent Digital, if anyone wants to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you?
So you can go to, you can email us at hello@valiantdigital.com. Something we're doing for all GLO members, really anyone. If you've ever thought about wanting to be social and want to know what is your reach, what are you doing out there, and is it working or not, we offer full a deep dive on your digital free of charge. We'll give you free suggestions to go implement yourself. And ultimately, this is bigger than business. Like, we should all be out here doing what we love to do and find passion and purpose and do it with the people that we love. If Valyent Digital can help you, hit us up, valiantdigital.com or hello@Valyent Digital.
And how do you spell Valyant? Want to make sure we got it down right?
Yeah. Good. Thank you. VALYNT. Looks like Valynt. I wasn't there when we named the company. Valiantdigital.com.
Awesome. Thank you. And Erin, do you have any parting thoughts?
I don't. I mean, I'll say you get 2 free watches of all these. So every week GLO is going live. If you go to withglo.com, you can sign up for a free membership. You get 2 free watches of events. This one is definitely, I think everybody could use this right now. This is one. Add to your list. Use it for your one. Go find another one. There's a lot of good stuff in there. You're going to find another one, but just definitely check out what we talked about today because it really, everybody could use it.
Oh, I agree 100%. So next week's, you guys, special guest from the Global Leaders Organization is Jeff Colvin. He is the head publisher of Entrepreneur Magazine. So he's going to have some very interesting insights, obviously, with the state of entrepreneurship. And there's been a lot of news on that. So go to withglo.com. To sign up for that event. Like I said, it's free to view it live. You do need to join the just basic membership to see a recording, up to 2. And Hey guys, if you're in the Dallas area or in the other fine cities that Global Leaders Organization has chapters, definitely become a premium member. And that way you get access to the full content available to you in the member website page. We just had last week the discussion on access to capital. We just, GLO just launched the GLO Capital Services, or the investment portal. So if you're looking for access to capital and you are an entrepreneur startup, this is where to go. So on that note, without further ado, that wraps it up for another episode of the Afterglow LinkedIn Live Recap Podcast. Have a great, wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Erin.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.